What if one idea changed the destiny of civilizations, inspired empires, sparked revolutions, shaped laws, transformed cultures, and influenced the lives of billions of people across thousands of years? What if that idea was so simple that a child could understand it, yet so profound that philosophers, theologians, kings, and scholars have spent centuries debating its meaning? Imagine standing beneath the night sky thousands of years ago, long before modern science, long before telescopes, long before the rise of great religions. Above you stretch countless stars. Thunder roars in the distance. The sun rises every morning and disappears every night. Crops grow, rivers flood, storms destroy, and life unfolds in ways that seem mysterious and uncontrollable. In such a world, ancient people searched desperately for explanations. They believed powerful forces governed every part of existence. One god controlled the sky, another ruled the sea.
Another brought fertility, another commanded war. The world appeared divided among countless supernatural powers. Yet, somewhere in human history, a remarkable question emerged. What if all these forces were not separate at all? What if behind every mountain, every storm, every star, every law of nature, and every moment of existence stood a single ultimate source? This question would become one of the most influential ideas ever conceived. It would challenge ancient traditions, reshape entire societies, and become the foundation of some of the world's largest religions. Today, we call this idea monotheism. But what exactly is monotheism? Where did it come from? Was it a sudden revelation, a philosophical breakthrough, or the result of a long historical evolution? And perhaps most intriguingly, why has the belief in one God remained so powerful in the modern world, despite centuries of scientific advancement, cultural change, and intellectual debate? To answer these questions, we must travel back into the distant past, to a world filled with temples, idols, myths,
and gods beyond counting. The story begins in a time when monotheism did not exist as most people understand it today. Across ancient Mesopotamia, Egypt, Canaan, Greece, and countless other civilizations, religion was deeply woven into everyday life. The people of these cultures did not merely worship gods, they lived within a universe populated by divine beings. Every aspect of existence seemed connected to a sacred power. Ancient Mesopotamians honored deities associated with rivers, storms, kingship, wisdom, and fertility. Egyptians venerated divine figures connected to the sun, the afterlife, and cosmic order. The Greeks filled their mythology with powerful gods whose stories explained everything from natural disasters to human emotions.
Polytheism, the belief in many gods, was not considered unusual. It was the normal way of understanding reality. Yet beneath this diversity of gods, some scholars have noticed something fascinating. Even in many polytheistic cultures, there were hints of a deeper unity. Certain deities were elevated above others. Some religious texts described a supreme divine authority governing lesser gods. Philosophers began asking whether multiple gods truly made sense if the universe itself appeared ordered and interconnected. These observations have led historians to wonder whether the seeds of monotheism existed long before monotheism fully emerged. But the mystery deepens when we encounter one of the most controversial questions in religious history. Who first believed in one God? The answer is not as simple as many assume. Some point to ancient Egypt and the reign of a remarkable pharaoh known as Akhenaten. During the 14th century BCE, Akhenaten launched what many consider one of history's earliest experiments with monotheistic worship. He elevated the Aten, represented by the sun disk, above all other Egyptian gods, and attempted to centralize religious devotion around a single divine focus. Temples were altered, traditional priesthoods lost influence. Religious practices changed dramatically.
For a brief moment, it appeared that Egypt might become a society centered on one supreme deity, yet the experiment did not last. After Akhenaten's death, Egypt largely returned to its traditional religious practices. Historians continue to debate whether this movement was truly monotheistic or merely a form of worship that elevated one god above others? Nevertheless, it raises a fascinating possibility. Was monotheism an isolated innovation, or was humanity moving toward a new way of understanding the divine? Meanwhile, in another part of the ancient world, a different story was unfolding. Within the traditions associated with the ancient Israelites, a unique religious vision gradually emerged. The Hebrew scriptures contain some of the most influential declarations of monotheistic belief ever recorded.
Yet modern scholars note that the development of Israelite religion may have been more complex than many people realize. Archaeological discoveries and textual analysis suggest that early Israelite belief evolved over time. Some researchers argue that ancient Israelites initially practiced forms of worship that reflected the broader religious environment of the ancient Near East. Over generations, however, a profound transformation occurred. The God of Israel came to be understood not merely as a national deity among many, but as the sole creator and ruler of all existence. This shift would become one of the defining moments in religious history. The implications were revolutionary. If there is only one God, then reality itself possesses a fundamental unity. Nature is not governed by competing divine powers. History is not the battlefield of rival gods. Human beings are not subject to countless supernatural authorities demanding allegiance. Instead, everything originates from a single source. Everything exists within a coherent framework established by one ultimate reality. Such an idea carried enormous philosophical consequences.
Yet, historians continue to debate how exactly this transformation occurred. Was it driven by prophets, political crises, cultural interactions, spiritual experiences? The evidence reveals a story that is still being investigated today. As centuries passed, monotheism expanded beyond its earliest communities and became central to some of the world's most influential religious traditions. Judaism preserved and developed the belief in one God through periods of exile, conquest, and survival. Christianity emerged from a Jewish context while presenting its own theological understanding of God's nature and relationship to humanity.
Islam would later proclaim with extraordinary clarity that there is only one God, emphasizing divine unity as the foundation of faith. Together, these traditions would shape the beliefs of billions of people across continents and generations.